very proud of what Lewis has become. Faculty and staff and administrators who really are very competent, dedicated, scholarly. The university community is all about people.
Hi, my name is Joe Glatz. Welcome to Lewis Spotlight, and today I'm going to be sharing some of my life lessons with you. I've done a lot of activities throughout my life, but the one that I think will stick out most to me is when I was 11 years old. I played soccer all my life, and when I was on a traveling team. And when I was 11, I got the chance to go to England to play soccer all over England against teams that there are probably kids on those teams that now play in the English Premier Leagues. It was a fantastic experience. There were lots of ups, lots of downs. I mean, we had to run one time on the stairs in the parking lot because we were goofing off. I mean, we were 11-year-old boys, and we were in England, in a foreign country. I mean, we just thought it was just another trip. And it was a great experience because I got the chance to go on the field at a professional soccer stadium in front of like 30,000 people who were all there just to watch soccer. I mean, they didn't care if it was their team, another team. They were cheering for us when we got on the field. It will always stay with me, just the goosebumps I got when I was standing in the goal while we were playing at halftime. Just all these fans cheering. And it's really hard to describe. I mean, I understand now how professional athletes feel, because I mean, I was just a little kid at the time, and there were just thousands of fans just screaming and cheering as I would save a ball on like a penalty kick. People were cheering for me. I was like, "You're cheering for me?" I couldn't believe that they were doing this. They were just excited to see soccer. I mean, it was that was something that will always stick with me. Just playing soccer was a big part of my life. I played it from like I was kindergarten all the way up to I was a junior in high school. And it was just a big part of my life, and those experiences that I've had traveling, playing in high school, will always stay with me. And I feel that it kind of shaped who I was as a kid, just dealing with all that I had to deal with, just playing sports in general. I mean, I played any kind of sport, baseball, soccer. I was too skinny for football, so I never really played that. My mom would always be afraid I would get hurt, so I never really did any of that. But all those experiences with sports, those are just big moments in my life. I stopped playing soccer because I'd played it all my life. I had gotten into high school. I played it my freshman year. I ended up actually breaking my kneecap. That's kind of when I stopped playing traveling soccer. And just kind of after that, I don't know what it was. I just didn't want to play it anymore. If I would have stuck with it, I know I probably could have played in college somewhere. But for some reason, I just didn't have the drive to play it. I wanted to play a different sport. I ended up playing volleyball all through high school. I still play that now, and I'm a coach now. But with soccer, I just didn't want to play it anymore. I don't know what it was. My mom was super upset. She's like, "You need to play soccer." But it just wasn't for me. I didn't know why. I just knew I didn't really want to pursue it anymore. I enjoyed playing it, but I just wanted to focus on other things, and soccer just at that point when I got into high school wasn't a part of it. Now it could have been because I broke my kneecap and I didn't feel like going back, and it was just kind of the oomph to be like, well, soccer is just kind of maybe not a part of my life. But I can't explain to why I didn't want to play. It just was something I didn't want to do anymore, and I couldn't explain it to my mom. She didn't want to hear it, so there really is no good explanation for it. Other than maybe I wanted to go out and just try different things. That's always what I wanted to do. I always wanted to try something else after I've done something for a little bit of a time. Even though I love doing it, I wanted to try something else. The deciding factor for me to come to Lewis was money. It was a scholarship I got. They gave me the most in financial aid, and they also had a volleyball team. I played volleyball all throughout high school, and I knew I wanted to go play volleyball in college, or at least I thought I wanted to play volleyball in college. And it was between Lewis and another school. The other school didn't have what I wanted to major in. They didn't really have anything that piqued my interest at the time. So I chose Lewis. They gave me the most money. And it was just pretty much that was that. I decided on it. One day my dad said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm sending it into Lewis because it's close enough, and that's just where I wanted to go." I mean, it wasn't really a really long thought out decision. It was just Lewis is offering the most money, and it's offering the most possibilities for anything I wanted to major in, because I didn't know what I wanted to major in at the time. And that's pretty much how it happened. I just chose it, said, you're offering the most money, you got the most majors for me to choose from, I'm going there. So that's pretty much how it happened. I realized I knew Lewis was the place for me was probably after my freshman, or just before the end of my freshman year. I was thinking about transferring schools because I had found a major I was interested in, and it was meteorology, and they didn't offer that here at Lewis. They offered some of the programs that I could start the meteorology program in, and so I applied to a different school. I went and looked at it. It was a fantastic school, but I realized it might not be what I want to do, and I realized I think Lewis is the place where I need to stay. I had friends here. I'd made friends throughout my freshman year. I didn't know of all the majors, so I didn't really get a full view of what Lewis had to offer yet. And when I realized I didn't want to do meteorology anymore, I figured I know Lewis is the place for where I'm supposed to be at right now. Just had friends telling me, hey, you should come back. I mean, if you're not going to go to this other school, I mean, Lewis is here. There's plenty of other options for you. I went to a counselor. She's like, there's plenty of different majors for you to choose from. So I knew right then and there, I was like, okay, I think Lewis will be the place I'll end up staying because I hadn't explored it all yet. There was so much left for me to just kind of look around and try to find here at Lewis. And I knew they gave me the options for it. I needed some more time, and I knew Lewis was the place that I needed to stay to be able to find those options that I wanted to do. Well, after meteorology, I still didn't know whether or not I was going to come to communications. I honestly had no idea about communications. I had a friend who was in the radio and TV broadcasting, as it was called back then, degree program. And I honestly didn't even think about it. I had no idea I was going to do it. I actually went into teaching first. I took a semester, and my first semester of my junior year, I went into teaching because I thought I work with kids. I worked at a day camp where I got to work with kids all day, and I thought this is something I really like to do. Maybe this is what I want to do. So I went into the teaching field, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it, but I had ended up, during that semester, I went on a radio show with one of my friends. He had a radio show. He's like, hey, you should come on my radio show. I was like, okay, yeah, sounds good. I went out to his radio show, went in the studio, saw what he had to do. I thought, this is pretty interesting. I really enjoyed this. That was fun after I got done with being on the show. And I kind of started thinking about whether or not I should continue with teaching, because I had a clinical experience that was less than stellar. And so I just kind of lost my love for teaching after my clinical experience. And then I knew right then and there I was going to do communications, go into radio and TV broadcasting, because I had been on that radio show. I'd actually had friends tell me that you would be good in the radio and TV broadcasting field. I actually had a high school professor who was my bowling coach out of all, think about that. He ran the radio station at our high school, and he had always asked me, you should come to the radio show, you should be a part of the radio show. I was always doing sports, so I never had time to do it. So it was always there, like in my life. There was always little hints say, hey, you should do this in broadcasting, you should do this for communications. But I never really took grasp of it until my second semester of my junior year, where I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to do this. I've had people tell me in the past. I didn't really listen before. I didn't have the time before. I was kind of like, oh, that would be neat. And I just decided to do it, and I ran with it, and I loved every second of it when I finally chose the communications career, or the degree path, and I fell in love with it, and it was the best decision I've ever made. There have been a lot of people at Lewis that have influenced my career and just who I am today. Professors have told me to always just never be satisfied, always try to be hungry for that next thing. You might like what you did on this first thing, but hey, there might be something, you might be able to do this even better the next time. And even that goes just with my friends too. You might be doing something in your personal life that you thought was awesome, and then you might realize, wow, what was I thinking? You might mature a little bit. They help me mature. I know my friends and family, and also Lewis faculty staff, anyone here just helped me mature as a person. And they helped me grow as an individual, not just in my major field, but also as just an individual in life. Well, I wish I would have had more opportunities to do more projects here at Lewis, but the one that'll stick out to me is all the TV shows I was able to create I know I had radio shows too, and I loved doing those, but I think the TV shows, it was just something I loved a lot. Just producing TV shows, editing them, those will always stick out to me. Just coming in here, writing a script, and then having to sit in that editing room for hours on end, just sitting in here till the wee hours of the morning editing something, saying, oh, I gotta get this right, I'm gonna make this look awesome. Those will always stick with me, specifically a show called RAs. I know some of us, when we were working on the show, we thought the RAs thought they were hot stuff. They thought they were the cream of the crop. They ran the campus. And so we wanted to, just do a show. We knew we could just create something. We didn't want to blatantly make fun of them, but we wanted to kind of parody off of them and just show RAs can be silly too. I mean, they're not just these, they don't run everything. And we decided to make this show called RAs. And it was my personal opinion that I thought was just fantastic. I mean, I'd probably look back on it now, be like, what was I thinking when we made that show? But I know when we spent those hours creating that show, filming it, coming up with ideas, editing it, I mean, just all the time we spent in it was just, it will always stick with me because I put in the blood, sweat, tears, all that stuff. I mean, tears were definitely there for when the avids would crash and we'd have to try to ask one of our professors, hey, can you get our project back? We've just been working on it all night. And that will always stick with me, just being around this studio and just creating that content was something that will always stick with me.
This is bad. What's going on here?
He's making noise with his book, just
Turning the pages.
It's still. He's watching TV,
So
full blast.
when you're in class and you hear somebody turn a page, you flip out on them too?
No, because I'm in class.
This is like the same scenario. They're doing stuff for class.
There's a TV on. How is that the same scenario?
And it helped me in my future career too, because now I know what it takes to create that kind of content. My biggest regret would probably not knowing what I wanted to do as a major, not knowing I wanted to be a communications major. I only had 2 years of it. I wish I would have had 4. I wish I would have had more years in the program because there were just so many things that I crammed into that 2-year period. And I couldn't, I was so upset when I finally was ready to graduate. I was like, I feel like there's so much more I need to do. So that would be my only regret, is not knowing exactly what I want to do. But once I figured it out, I mean, I have no regrets about the path I took. The things that I did while I was in the communications degree, I have no regrets with that. But just not knowing, I wish I could go back and tell myself, hey, choose communications, because I realized how much fun I had in this department. I realized how much fun I had doing all the things that I did in this department, creating all the shows, working as long as I worked, putting in the hours. It was fun. I wish I could go back and tell myself, hey, choose this, you're gonna have a blast. But anything else, I have no regrets. I was really happy with what I've done as a student, what I did as just a person outside in life, all the jobs that I had. Just not knowing that I wanted to be in communications is my only regret. I wish I could tell myself to go do that. What Lewis has taught me is that to always go out and just try something. You're never gonna know if you're good at something or if you're bad at something if you don't try. I mean, I thought I was gonna do radio when I was a communications major. I thought that was my career path. And then I tried TV. I tried producing something. I tried some of the sport games here, and I fell in love with it. I honestly didn't know that I would even enjoy doing any of that, because I thought radio was the one. When I came into the program, I was like, I wanted to go into radio, wanted to do this. And then I tried TV, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the whole process of producing, setting up shoots, setting up content, editing, I fell in love with too. I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't been taught by the professors here at Lewis to just go out and try something. I mean, you're never gonna know if you don't try something. I've always been one to just try anything. I mean, I've played many sports, I've gone out and done pretty much anything. And the professors and just people here just emphasized, just go out and try something, because you're honestly never gonna know unless you actually go out there and try it. I mean, I might be doing radio now, I might not even be here at Lewis today in the career that I have, if it wasn't for the professors here telling me, hey, why don't you go try this, maybe you'll have fun doing this. And it turned out I loved TV, and I ended up trying to do more things with video and editing and any sort of TV projects, creating content, and I fell in love with it. So that's the biggest thing Lewis has taught me, is just get out there and try something, because you honestly don't know whether you're gonna like it or you're gonna hate it. I honestly didn't think I was going to be a graduate assistant here at Lewis University right before I graduated. It was probably about 2 or 3 months before I graduated to when I realized that I was going to stay at Lewis, because they had opened up a graduate assistant position that I didn't even know about. I had a friend, my roommate actually, all throughout college. He was a graduate assistant here, and he said he found this position for me. It was in video, and I was enthralled with video my second semester, my senior year. And I was trying to do anything and everything for it, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's this graduate assistant position here. I mean, I've known Lewis all of my life. Why not give it a shot? I mean, it's video, it's making content, it's what I just fell in love with trying to do. And I was like, why not continue doing it here at a place that I know very well, and I could get my master's for free. I didn't know what I was gonna do with that master's, but I figured, hey, might as well give it a shot. So I applied for it, and with some help from the professors here in this department at Lewis, I was able to get the graduate assistant position, and I don't regret it at all. It was a fantastic position. I mean, it led into a job to what I got here. And it was a great fit because it was a brand new position. I got to produce videos that no one had done here before. It was a brand new position. So I got to lay the groundwork for that position and go through the ups and the downs and figure out what was right and what was wrong, if this looked right, if this looked wrong. And it was a good fit for me because of where I was at in my life, being a graduate, just a fresh graduate right out of college. I graduated in December, started in January. So it felt like I never left Lewis at all. So it was a great fit because I felt like I was still in tune with the university. I knew what was going on, so I could go ask people if they wanted to be a part of this video stuff. So I still had some connections with trying to set up the interviews that I was doing. And I just knew it was a great fit right from the get-go because I love doing video, and this gave me the opportunity to do that while also getting a master's degree. So it was a great fit right from the start. My current position at Lewis is video content producer and editor for the marketing communications department. It's pretty similar to my graduate assistant position, except I have a little more leeway with what I'm doing. I'm not as much on a leash as I was before, just doing certain things. I have more freedom to maybe create my own content rather than just the content that was being asked of me when I was a graduate assistant. I actually get to create more myself rather than just being told, hey, we should go film this, we're gonna go film this, this, and this, and this. I can now say, well, what about if we do this? Or what about if we do this? I can do that. So I have some more responsibility with that role, and I love it. I mean, I have some other responsibilities too, like social media. I'm in charge of managing some of those accounts. I also help with crisis communication as well. If there's ever a crisis on campus, I'm in charge of helping set up all the video cameras, making sure any news media outlets are able to get the audio they need or video or where everything is at. So it's pretty much the same, making video content for enrollment purposes, with also adding on a few other things as well, with managing different accounts and making sure there's things set in place. So a little more planning than it was before. They just told me to go out, go shoot this. I was like, okay, go do this. But now it's on me. I don't really have anyone to turn to. I still have bosses and supervisors that I kind of report to, but other than that, they gave me free reign just to go out and do what I need to do. They know, they've seen me for the past couple of years do what I did as a GA, so they have confidence in me that I'm going to go out there and do my job to the best that I can. I honestly don't know how long I'm going to stay here at Lewis. I know I want to leave at some point. I know eventually I want to go to maybe a TV studio or out to be on a TV show to be a producer of some sort. I know I want to do that. When that's going to happen, I can't tell you. So I'm happy with where I'm at right now. If I could put a number on when I was going to leave, I'd gladly give you that number, but honestly, I don't know. So right now, I'm just kind of doing what I need to do at Lewis and need to move on. I know Lewis will be happy to see me off because I've done a lot here. They've helped me grow. They know they've helped me grow as a professional in my career, just giving me all the experiences and the opportunities they have. But honestly, I don't know, but I know when I do find what I am looking for, I know I'll be prepared to move on to that next step. But right now I'm happy with where I'm at, and I'll just keep moving along until that day comes for when I say, Lewis, thank you for all the memories, but I'm going on to something better. My lasting impression of Lewis is if you want to do something, your professors, your friends, they will always be there to help you try to do whatever it is that you want to do. Lewis always was there. If I wanted to try to do something, they helped me out. My professors, they were there to help me. They always wanted to help you achieve whatever goal it was that you wanted to achieve. And so that is my lasting impression, that they're always there to help. You want to try to do something, someone will work their butt off to help you achieve what you want to achieve. You want to create a TV show, you can do that. You want to start a sports club here at Lewis, some faculty and staff, they will help you do what it is that you want to do. There are opportunities available for you, but if you want to create a new opportunity for yourself, someone here at Lewis, somewhere, will help you try to do that. I guess my impression, the biggest impression is, Lewis is a very helpful place, and they'll help you get to whatever goal it is that you want to get to. So if you want to succeed in something, Lewis will be there, whether it be faculty, staff, or just people here at Lewis in general. Maybe someone you didn't know will just come out of nowhere and say, hey, I'll help you do that, even though I've never met you. Lewis, anyone here at Lewis is just always looking to help each other. It's kind of like a community, I would say, is always looking to help you succeed. So that's my lasting impression, is that everyone here wants you to succeed in whatever it is you're doing, and they'll do whatever it is they have to do. The piece of advice that I would give to students is just go out and do something. I mean, whether it be in your major, or whether it be in your mural, whether it be just to go out and walk around. Don't sit your 4 years inside your dorm, not talking to anyone, just going about your business. Even if you're a commuter too, don't just come to class, leave, come to class, leave, do all that. Go out and do something, find something. You have 4 years of college, you might as well make the best of them, because they go by fast. Trust me, I was in the broadcasting major, and then all of a sudden I'm on stage shaking hands with Brother James, and I couldn't believe it was over. So any student that watches this, if they get to this part, any student that watches this needs to know that they just need to get out there and do something, whether it's in their major, whether it's just something for fun, or whether it's just to get out of your room or just walk around campus. Find an activity, find something, find a friend, find anything that you want to do or maybe never thought of doing, and just get out there and try it. Because you have 4 years of college, they're the best years of your life, so just get out there and just do anything and everything. That is the best advice I could give you. Thank you for watching Lewis Spotlight. I'm Joe Glatz, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to my story.